As soon as I get my own cool sculpting kit, I'm going to look the way that I've always wanted to look.
So, kid, it's just some twine and dry ice.
Yes,
Good luck.
It's more than that. It's more than that. Yes, does it come with twine and dry ice? Yeah, of course it does. Yeah, I mean, that's part of it. It's not that simple. You can't reduce it down to that, you know? At the end of the day, a gun is just, a little piece of metal and a very powerful slingshot. But guess what? That's how they killed JFK, the president of the United States of America.
Very inaccurate description of what a gun is, but
that's what it is, really. It's a little piece of metal. It's a little piece of metal with a slingshot attached.
I want to hear why you're feeling thin, why you're worn out, why you're at the end of your rope.
I worked a bar shift, as a favor, because I don't work the bar no more, as we say in the bar business.
Mm-hmm.
They had a big company party, and they said, "Hey, you want to come be a celebrity guest bartender?" Like Bill Murray style, come in and freak people out because you're actually standing behind the bar, and they gab and gaw, and it's a big deal, and they probably get a bunch of hashtags on the TikTok. I remembered a lot of things in that. I remembered how I'm not suited for that line of work that I stayed in for a very long time.
You mean customer service? Is that what we're?
Yeah, okay. Just interacting with interacting with people who I am sure do not have blue check marks behind their names on Twitter. Okay. So there's a couple moments where like I definitely was like, oh, I was right when I complained about this. And that is grown men that do not have the ability to speak louder than a shy little 4-year-old. And they come and say, "Hey, and I go, can you speak up?" And I point at my ear and go like, "I can't hear you." And they go, "Yeah, can I get?" And I go, I'm sorry, I really can't hear you. You really have to speak up. And they'll go, "Yeah, can I? Yeah." That's not a vocal thing. And listen, I know that I've been trained in the theater. And that's theater with an E at the end. I know that I know how to project. I've treaded the boards with Sir Patrick Stewart, with Jonathan Frakes, with Brent Spiner. With all the masters of English theater, I have been on stage with.
Colm Meaney.
Wilford Wheaton. I've shared. I did Uncle Vanya with Will Wheaton. I did Waiting for Godot with Gates McFadden.
Whoopi Goldberg was on there too, right? For a while, wasn't she like on a couple seasons?
Guided.
Yes, we did. We shared the stage on a little production called Hair. And did we both get nude? Yes, we did. I dropped trowel with Michael Dorn in Equus. My character.
What was your character's name?
Space McRocket.
That's very in keeping with the Star Trek universe. Yeah.
Well, it was from the pen of the creator Gene Raspberry. It was from his personal notes.
That's such a Mad Magazine name. Gene Raspberry.
That'll get him.
That's right.
Anyway, I understand that I have that skill, that I am blessed with a deep, rich baritone. It was just annoying. It was very much like, come on, grow up, get out of this. And that's on him. And hopefully, I hope he does lose the ability to speak. I hope his throat gets mauled by a badger, some sort of marmot clawed creature, and he can no longer speak. But I will say there's a couple moments that I legitimately would realize, like, oh, this is a mic problem. This isn't a customer problem. This is a mic problem. This is my personality and my thing. Like when somebody would walk up and I would just think, look at this stupid fucker's fucking stupid face. And I remember thinking that, and like, I'm just mad at his stupid fucking droopy dog drool mouth face. And then I thought, oh man, I used to think this thought a lot, and this is a me problem. This is not a him problem. This is 100% a me problem, and that's something that I have to work on. That's fine. I'll accept that. We're all beings that are, improving ourselves bit by bit, day by day, learning, growing, changing, all that.
We should have a sign on that says "Under construction."
Under construction. Under construction. I do. I have a tattoo that says "Genius Quiet, Genius at Work."
That's a good one. Is there any chance, Mike, that this was like, well, I will agree that it's a you problem until the first time you indicate you can't hear. At that point, it's any human being's responsibility to be loud enough to be heard.
The you problem is the fucking voice man.
Okay.
Yeah.
The me problem is when someone comes in with a face that I don't like.
Right. Yeah, that's probably more about you. Is there any chance that the low voice guy, that it was like a power play, that he was exerting dominance somehow by forcing you to change your behavior?
Interesting.
Possibly, yes. Yes, very much possibly. Any hoozle. Sometimes it's really good to do something to remind you why you don't do it.
Right.
So when you were introduced as the celebrity bartender, where on your list of credits was the International News Service?
I don't even, they don't do credits it's too much. It's established. It's within the canon. You kind of expect on that part of town, that side of town, people know. Okay.
Did you fight any backwards skeletons while you were bartending?
Oh, you're talking about the Jack Wharton scripts. People brought in little fur toys, fur action figures for me to sign or whatever. We signed fur, and I'm like, I'm not the one who says that. I'm not the one who's the voice of that. You know who the one that's the voice of that is? That's Gates McFadden does the voice of that. And you didn't think that a woman could voice a male dog?
Bart Simpson. Do
you know that Bart Simpson, the actress, gives like half of her Bart Simpson money to the Church of Scientology?
Yes.
Well, she's a real piece of shit.
Yeah, she did. She did in the 90s. She did like a promotional ad for Scientology as Bart Simpson.
Don't have a Satan, man.
Yeah, they had to tell her that she couldn't do that.
They had to tell her. I'm sure that she had no idea that she couldn't capitalize off of her very fortunate association with a cartoon that inexplicably got huge through no fault or contribution of her own. She's a garbage person.
Is it inexplicably got bigger, or did some of the tenets of Sea Org work their way into a little concept? I mean, if you really look at it, the town of Springfield as a whole exists like how we live in Sea Org.
Is Mr. Burns an SP? Is he?
And Mr. Burns is the ultimate SP.
That's right.
Lisa Simpson is clear.
She recognizes the futility of all religions, but the true religion that she doesn't even a name, which is, of course, Scientology. According
to the internet, Nancy Cartwright, the voice of Bart Simpson, is worth $80 million. But Yardley Smith, the voice of Lisa, is worth $85 million.
Well, doesn't she have her career outside of just voice work?
She was in Maximum Overdrive.
She was, and she was in City Slickers. There's your extra $5 million.
She plays a newlywed in Maximum Overdrive. She goes, I gotta go pee. And her newlywed husband goes, can I watch? And they both giggle. You know what, though? I will say, I think that Bart Simpson's voice is a lot easier to do than Lisa's voice. Would be a lot easier to replace than Lisa's voice.
Yeah. Well, isn't Lisa's voice just that lady's voice?
Pretty much, yeah. Totally. It is just her voice.
Why don't people that aren't involved with a religion, say Scientology, make fun shirts about that religion? Just, I feel like there would be a market. Market for just goofy, what they would consider SP type rhetoric on t-shirts about Scientology.
I mean, they're crazy litigious.
What are they gonna do?
Sue you. So that's what I mean.
But not just sue you, but they'll find everybody that you've ever met and then send them a letter saying you're a child molester.
Well, that's not true. What do you want me to say? That's anybody can do that. That can't be a reason to not do something.
Welcome to INS, the International News Service, your source for the most important weird news from across the globe. With news analyst Kevin Harrison, actor, comedian, and musician Mike Wiebe, and professional commentator Brian Camp. INS, the news you need.
Because fruit roll-ups are good.
Yeah.
But fruit by the foot is not good.
What about Go-Gurt? How is that?
Well, Go-Gurt's great because I'm busy. And I don't have time to sit down and eat yogurt. Yogurt is made for when you're literally it's for when you're on the go.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have time to sit there and you will open up a thing and put it in a bowl, and I'm wearing a white linen suit and everything's fine, and I might get to stuff when I get to it later today, and just I'm not living some island beach life like
But you're wearing a white linen suit?
Yeah,
that is the most island beach life thing you can wear.
No,
I think.
I'm saying I'm not. That's not my lifestyle. I don't get to just sit or lounge around in some with palm trees and we're on island time, and now I'm gonna eat my yogurt.
Oh, so you're not wearing a white linen suit.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not wearing a white linen suit. I'm making moves. I buy and sell people like you every day. I'm catching a fucking helicopter from the top of one skyscraper to the next.
That's right.
And maybe on the way, I don't have time to sit down on the way. So on that little helicopter ride, pull out a little Go-Gurt from my Brooks Brothers. I rip the top off and I slurp it down and I just fucking drop the trash right out the side of that helicopter. Let some dumb motherfucker deal with it.
Do you also often have Lunchables for meals? What other child snacks do you? Exactly.
Yeah. I live a grind or die culture.
Gotta have your Mott's.
I have one in my back pocket right now.
I'm sure you do.
I went straight from work to this podcast.
Do you ever stop a meeting and just let everybody know that you're feeling a little fussy and you need to have some applesauce to keep going?
I'll call it. I've got to let me get into this before I have some buyer's remorse.
Mm-hmm. And that's code for tantrum. Is that?
I mean, what's the difference, really?
You know,
you know who is famous for throwing tantrums? Bill Clinton. And guess what? Best economy in human history. That is a fact. Love him or hate him. That's why he let interns blow him. He didn't have time to go meet real girls.
That also why he had state troopers bring women to his mansion. I think that's fairly well documented, right?
Yeah, he didn't squeeze out the adrenochrome on his own.
Our first story comes to us from the BBC.
The Bad Boys Club.
Bad Boys Club.
The city of Tome in the Bio region of Chile last made international headlines in 2010.
You know what Bio stands for? Better off beaten off.
The city of Tome in the better off beaten off region of Chile, it last made international headlines in 2010 when it was hit by an 8.8 earthquake. But today it's making headlines once again because its beaches are overrun by more than 300 sea lions. The incident has gotten so severe that just as one fisherman told a TV interviewer that this was a, quote, plague of sea lions, a sea lion was recorded opening a gate behind the fisherman and then charged at him, which ended the interview. Locals believe the sea lions sought refuge on the beach in order to flee gale force winds and predators, especially killer whales.
Oh.
I can buy that.
Right. Sea lions are avoiding things that will kill them. Good job. Good job, locals.
I think we all should have have a little bit more questions about how Jabberjaw was able to walk around and do stuff.
Because he was a shark.
He was a shark, but he was using his flippers to pick up all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
He was mostly hopping around, and he never wanted to eat any of those teenagers. That seems a little weird to me, too.
So you're bothered by his flippers walking, but not by the fact that he was a talking shark.
And he also had didn't he have a helmet to breathe water? Or did all the teens run around with helmets that had air?
I don't think they addressed that.
How did they even get together? Even within the confines of this unrealistic world, it just it doesn't make sense.
Was that a Hanna-Barbera?
Yeah.
No, he could exist in the air and in the water, it looks like. Because he was a drummer for the teens band, which is clearly how he met them. It is kind of impressive. He's very top heavy, and then he balances on his end, just the end of his tail.
Why did they make him a dolphin?
Yeah, why was he a shark?
Sharks are cooler, man.
I guess, but he wasn't very cool.
No.
Jabberjaw is clearly based on Curly from the Three Stooges, right?
Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
What if Curly from the Three Stooges
was a
shark who also played the drums?
I'll tell you all something that you may or may not agree with. Shemp superior to Curly.
That is, I don't think you're going to win over any arguments with that. Why do you find that?
No, you know what? If you watch the Three Stooges as an adult, you will agree. Shemp is superior to Curly. Curly's one note.
Why?
Because Shemp's got something going on. Shemp's a little more cerebral.
But that's the point. Curly is the dumbest of the Stooges. The pure. Yeah. He is. When you look at the Three Stooges, it's athos. It's pathos, ethos, logos.
For sure. You pull up an image of Shemp compared to Curly. Shemp's even got a funnier face than Curly. I'm telling you, Curly's for kids. Shemp is the adult stooge. That's the better stooge.
What about Joe Besser?
Curly Joe?
Yeah. What about Curly Joe?
He sucked.
Yeah, I think Curly Joe got the real. Curly Joe had a tough gig. You know, that's a real gig that you don't turn down, but you're not getting to make your bones with it at all. You know?
Yeah.
Right. Your job is to be a not as good version of something else.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that there are a lot of shimp heads like me out there. I'm just saying that Curly was one note. It's fine. It's a good note. I don't hate Curly, but I think Shemp is more of an interesting stooge.
It's such a radical statement that you make that I feel like me trying to go against it unprepared would be a fool's errand.
Well, maybe we should bring on one of the Stooges and have an interview.
I think that's actually a great idea.
Yeah, I don't know how to tell you
maybe
this.
Maybe Mo or...
They all died. I think Joe Besser died last in 1988.
I just saw him on TV, Kevin. So I have cable, so I have access to those shows. And so they're still around.
I foresee Brian with a table at a college campus and a sign that says, Shemp is the best. Debate me.
If there's 4, 2 of the 4 are Curly clones and are lesser versions of Curly. Shemp is his own thing.
That's true.
You
know, there used to be an era where people would really argue about the merits of the Three Stooges, and now no one argues about them at all. Anything. I think this might be the first Three Stooges discussion in probably, 20, 25 years, period.
Right.
Like not between us, but also between us, but between anyone.
In the world. Remember, it was the classic, women don't like the Three Stooges. Men love the Three Stooges. Exactly. I think women like the Three Stooges.
Yeah. You know what else I think about women is I think that they'd be shopping. I stole that joke from my uncle, my great uncle Philip.
Well, that's right. Sometimes the zings just have to come out.
Yeah, I mean,
keep them in.
Yeah, exactly.
I get it.
I don't want all his accomplishments to get lost in his death.
So our next story comes to us from the New York Post.
Oh, the angry uncle to the New York Times.
Yes.
Police in Dixon City, Pennsylvania, were recently called to a disturbance in the lumber aisle of the local Home Depot. Upon arrival, the police found 2 people conducting an exorcism on the lumber. The incident attracted attention when it was published on the police department's daily blotter, stating, quote, Home Depot for disorderly people having an exorcism in the lumber aisle for the dead trees. They were escorted out of the building, unquote. It doesn't look like the exorcists have been charged or identified, and it's not clear whether the exorcised wood sold for more than the regular satanic kind.
Oh, so did these people not get cast in a high school play? Is that why they were?
Yeah,
lumber
I
aisle?
don't get what's.
I think they did get cast in the high school play.
Okay,
But I don't understand because what do Christians believe? And I say that knowing that they don't know. Like they don't. They have no idea. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but I'm very surprised by that, but also not at all. Like it's such a Simpsons mentality of like one person yells something there, I go, and then the whole crowd goes, yeah. Like if this were to completely become a thing of like we have to start exercising our lumber, like I wouldn't be surprised if this if things roll in this direction. Like it seems stupid and we're making fun of it now. I mean, it's less crazy than like half the QAnon shit we've made fun of.
True.
I think, Mike, you and I are in our mind's eye picturing very different people in this Home Depot conducting this exorcism.
Well, exorcisms are for against demons, and witches don't do exorcisms. Like witches don't mess around with that.
So you see like churchy church types showing up, like Catholics, like because they're Catholics. That's the religion of exorcism, right?
There are many Christian sects that believe they can
Christian sects
exorcise things.
Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's called missionary.
Zing. Zing. See, I see like
that'll show them.
I'm picturing three kids that were probably shopping at Hot Topic with Mark this past weekend. They got their pack of clove cigarettes and their Ankh necklaces or whatever it is people are buying now at Hot Topic, and they're doing this as a goof. Maybe brought some candles in. Maybe somebody filmed it.
That's a weird spot to go, though, because
they didn't leave. They didn't leave until the cops showed up. That means that they refused likely to leave.
I have ties to Indoor Goth Kid. Okay, I have high ties to that, and let me tell you, we do not feel comfortable in a Home Depot. The lighting is all wrong.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not some gothy teens having a good time. Now, if you were to tell me that they went into like a Target, I could buy that.
That's right.
A Target, there's a whole section of like, Pokemon related sort of Castlevania, whatever. There's video games.
A lot of fun body pillows, right?
Wow, that was a
yeah.
Man, that was quite a callback.
That's a deep reach.
You get like several points.
Yeah.
You get
deep reach. I got my own sound effect a couple weeks ago, and I'm just, I'm trying to get a new one. Brian wouldn't understand because he's never had a sound effect like Mike and I have.
That's because my voice doesn't require special effects to be. God damn it, Mark! Don't do it for that one. Leave it dry.
Please don't. That was scary. But
that was.
What did they describe the people, Kevin?
Yeah.
No, there's nothing there.
Fucking the Post is shitty reporting.
Wait, I don't think this is the Post, is it? No, this is the Post because the Bad Boys Club was the Chile story with the
Bad Boys Clubs. Bad Boys do their work.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. BBC's way better than the Post.
Bad Boys for life.
That's what they all chant in the newsroom before they start their day.
Yeah, for sure.
But the weirdest thing to me is it's 2021 and nobody thought, oh shit, I got to put this on my phone. I got to record this for posterity.
Well, it's because their little buddy was filming from behind the plywood. There was they didn't have the courage to do it if anybody else was there.
I disagree. These were some ding dong Christians who were like, I want to get some wood. We need some wood to build out the portable where we can have another Sunday school. But you know what? I was just thinking, guys, I was just thinking, you know what they killed Jesus with? Wood. And nobody was going to correct them. It was the wood's fault.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I think went down, that it was some sort of goofball sect of of Christians.
You said this was no dumber than QAnon, right?
Correct.
Well, our next story comes to us from the LA Times. LA has always been home to fringe cults and ideas. It gave birth to Scientology, the Manson family, and the California Raisins. Now, something new is infiltrating LA's New Age community, especially yoga. That something is QAnon. 2 recent polls have found that 1 in 6 American adults believes the QAnon theory that a cabal of Satan-worshipping, adrenochrome-consuming pedophiles controls the U.S. government, media, and all levels of power.
What was that number again?
1 in 6.
Kevin, I'm going to jump in real quick and also tell our listeners that this is why you should be very dubious of behavioral science studies, because there is no way in hell 1 in 6 Americans believe that. That is not true. Many people do. It is not 1 in 6.
Probably more than should.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Is it saying that 1 in 6 believe that QAnon's a thing, or that there might be that the government might be up to duplicitous?
No, it is 1 in 6 believe this specific QAnon allegation of the Satan-worshipping, adrenochrome-consuming pedophiles.
I don't believe that's accurate.
No way that is accurate.
I don't believe that's accurate.
How many millions of people live in the U.S., Kevin?
What, 330 million?
So 330 million. So
yeah.
That's like 50 million or so.
I think there's a lot of people who think a lot of crazy things. I don't think that 50 million people specifically believe that a cabal. One, I don't think there's 50 million people in the United States that know what the word cabal means. But of a cabal of Satan worshiping, adrenochrome consuming pedophiles, I don't think that. Well, I'm like this flat Earth people, right? I don't think even 80% of the people that subscribe to flat Earth ideology actually believe any of that. I think it's fun to say they believe that the Earth is flat.
So let's talk about some people who do believe in this QAnon theory. So QAnon promises a quote, great awakening that echoes the yogic views of ascension and consciousness, and its anti-mask, anti-distancing rhetoric is similar to bodily autonomy and sovereignty embedded in many New Age practices. Many people in the LA New Age community have watched with alarm as New Age influencers, including yogis, energy healers, sound bathers, crystal practitioners, psychics, and quantum magicians have embraced. I was waiting for Brian to laugh at that.
All right. Sorry. What's a quantum magician?
Yeah.
I tried to look this up, and I could find everything. I could even find sound bathers, but I think quantum magicians, from what I can figure out, I think it's like you focus on altering reality to match what you want it to be.
I mean,
so you're like altering everything at a quantum level.
Well, and it wasn't based in real life. It was based in have fun. But in Jack Wharton and the Plane of Fire, he has to go into the quantum realm a number of times. And in the quantum realm, there's no quantum magicians, but there is a quantum sorcerer. And he's forced to fight. The quantum sorcerer, obviously, is the creator of the backward skeletons.
So all of those people, yogis, energy healers, sound bathers, crystal practitioners, psychics, and quantum magicians have embraced QAnon's conspiracy. I'm never getting through this sentence. Have embraced QAnon's conspiratorial worldview and spread it across social media.
I just don't see a quantum magician finding something that's silly plausible. I mean, they're scientists, for Christ's sakes.
Right. That's normally such a serious discipline.
Yeah.
Quantum magicians.
I mean, a sound bather, yeah, they might fall into some fringe. But a quantum magician in Los Angeles?
People interviewed for the article identified dozens from the LA yoga community who attended the January 6th riot on the Capitol, including Alan Hostetter, a ponytailed former police chief, yoga teacher, and sound healer from Orange County.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a non-ponytailed sound bather.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a non-ponytailed yoga master. It's like it's the part of the uniform.
In June, Hostetter was indicted for his involvement in the riot. People in the New Age community who are documenting this phenomenon say it's a perfect storm where people with considerable disposable income are spending massive amounts of money seeking enlightenment in a world of yoga, meditation, energy healing, and multi-level marketed dietary supplements.
Now that's real.
At the same time, these companies offering enlightenment have seen years of rent hikes until 2020 when they were suddenly forced to close. They and their privileged customers had never been told they couldn't do something before this. So they turned to social media to vent their frustrations and increasingly crazy ideas. Now, if you remember, back in episode 19, we discussed a media company called Gaia, which streams both yoga and conspiracy videos for subscribers. It's one of the companies tapping into exactly this audience, with their stories of blue avians and UFOs and general QAnon nonsense. Last spring, researchers began to note that QAnon was being marketed on Instagram through sunset photos and slickly designed educational slides to appeal more to women. This has since been dubbed Pastel QAnon.
Women be Qing.
One certified crystal practitioner.
Who certifies crystal practitioners? What government agency does the inspection and certification process for crystal practitioners?
Probably the geology, U.S. geology.
USGS does it? They come
That's
in.
probably it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. One certified crystal practitioner told the LA Times that she'd lost at least a dozen friends to these conspiracies, including her two closest friends, saying, quote, "I realized that I had to release them with love," unquote.
Who were both a couple of one was a giant geode and the other was a ghost of a Civil War general, and they've both gone crazy. I can't even have high tea with them in the astral plane anymore.
Oh, how enlightened. That's way to passively accept that two people you supposedly care about have embraced an insane ideology. You're a good person. Way to spin something good out of getting kicked out of an orgy. Do you think the perfect storm is in reference to?
It's like a perfect, the perfect configuration for a sexcapade when everyone comes at the exact same time.
Is that what it is?
Maybe, I don't know.
Right.
I'm Bobo.
No.
What does that stand for again? I forgot.
I think you know.
But maybe the listeners forgotten. They've only heard it once.
I think we said it a lot, right?
No, I don't know. I think they need to hear it one more time.
What if my mom tuned in just to this part?
You would be so happy if your mom tuned in just to this part.
No, I would like any attention. I'll be honest with you. I would like
good.
Even negative attention's okay, right?
Right. You know what? I'm going to make a vow to you guys.
Okay.
I vow that between now and the next time we record, I will either be a certified crystal person or I will be a certified quantum magician.
You think you can lock that down in a week? In just 1 week?
Yes. In fact, I 100% guarantee I can accurately claim that I am a certified either one of those. I can pick which one.
I would like to get certified in one of those too.
So what you guys are saying is you're only going to be good enough to be certified at one of those.
Well, I might get both of them. If it's as easy as I think it is, I might get all of them. I might be a sound bather too. So
I want to get into sound bathing.
You gotta buy a gong. You gotta buy, that's with a G, Mike. You gotta buy one of those bowls and little thing so you can go like bong, and that was with a B that time, I guess. And then some bells. There's some investment.
You know more about sound bathing than I expected anyone to know.
Well, yeah. I had to do the research because I knew it would come up.
What is with sound bathing? What do you do?
You lay on a table and then you meditate, and then somebody walks around the room or gets on a loudspeaker or does whatever, and they hit a lot.
Are you wearing clothes?
I didn't look that up, but I'm guessing it depends on the sound healer you've gone to.
Do they oil you up, or is there oil involved? What kind of oil do you think they use?
Brian, why are you taking your shirt off?
I'm asking questions.
Can you play any song? Like, does it have to be Nicki Minaj?
Yeah, it has to be Nicki Minaj, and also somebody has to hit a gong to it. while you're.
So you're on a table, you're naked, you've been lubed up, and you're listening to Grimes. What's next, Kevin?
Yeah, and then somebody's walking around you with like a bowl, hitting it with a little drumstick, or like hitting a gong in the background, and then you're healed.
Oh, it's a healing thing.
Yeah, like the vibrations go through your body, and then somehow that makes you better.
I'm open to try this. I want to do a sonic bath. I want to do a sonic bath. I want to do. I want to wash my sonic balls. I want to do. Also want to do a one of those deprivation chambers.
You know what? I'm really into this idea of hearing about people experiencing crazy new agey stuff like that I've always wondered about.
Yeah.
Brian's gonna be a QAnoner in 2 weeks.
No, I'm not. I'm about to be one of those 1 in 6. I mean, I think it's a lot of people. I think 1 in 6 is high. That just feels like hysteria to me. But
yeah, I don't think that's true.
It is
either.
a hysteria.
It is, but I just don't think there's that many people.
Yeah.
And I think any people is too many. And I think there are a shit ton of people who believe it. I don't think there's that many people who believe all of the most insane tenets of that philosophy.
Yeah. I think there's probably some people that believe maybe, but
I think people are taking some shortcuts connecting people to the most insane parts of that. But any of it's crazy.
No, that's entirely plausible. And I think a lot of people are just trolls because they're like, well, if I say this, it's going to trigger people. Yeah, people. And I think I've said that before with my true accent, and which I won't share with the. I think I said that 2 weeks ago, and I won't share it with the. It's going to upset the libs right here, and
it's country Kevin.
So, well, before we get to this next news story, so Mike, you have some Tasmanian devil tattoos, right?
Oh yeah, several.
What do you got?
Well, it just says Taz, and he's ripping up a flag that says science.
So this next story may be very relevant to you in your choice of tattoos. It comes from the Smithsonian Magazine, and the Tasmanian devil, as I'm sure Mike knows, is the world's largest carnivorous marsupial, and it is also threatened with extinction due to a contagious facial cancer called devil facial tumor disease.
Jesus Christ.
Can people get that?
The way they pass it on is that they fight over food and they bite each other in the face. So in order to safeguard the species, scientists moved 28 uninfected devils to Maria Island, which is just east of Tasmania. This program was very successful, and by 2016, there were at least 100 Tasmanian devils on Maria Island. Unfortunately, scientists didn't consider the impact this would have on the local bird population, especially the penguins.
Oh, no.
In 2012, scientists counted 3,000 breeding pairs of penguins on the island. And it appears now the Tasmanian devils have eaten all of them and are now actively exterminating other bird populations.
That's all I can see. It's penguin feathers flying up in the air. It's just spinning.
They're gonna make a movie about it called Sad Feet. So why do scientists do this? They always do shit like this.
That's why you've got that tattoo.
Exactly.
As a result, many experts now recommend trapping the Tasmanian devils and moving them back to Tasmania, where facial cancer infections seem to be decreasing among Tasmanian devils. And so they might give penguin populations a chance to return to Maria Island.
I mean, I feel like if the penguins are already dead, are they all gross? Are the tumors all gross on the face?
Yeah, I'm not going to show you a picture. It's pretty gross. I've seen it before.
Because there's like a big problem with these. I know it's not cancer, but it's like these weird. I think I talked about it before. Like the deer get these weird face tumors and shit. Yeah. And man, it fucked me up. I saw a picture one and it fucked me up. And I gotta say, I'm anti-face tumor.
Bold stance.
Do you think they do or don't sound like a jet engine taking off when they spin around?
Do.
Okay.
Yeah, that probably tracks. That's probably the same.
How big are Tasmanian devils, Kevin?
But they're about 2 feet long, about 10 inches tall, and weigh 13 to 18 pounds.
Well, that's not that big. I think I could beat one in a fight.
Man, they got claws.
They got claws. They got teeth.
If I knew I had to
they
fight
got
them.
tornado.
They got tornado powers.
Yeah.
I hear they're easy to outwit, though. I think I could trick them into maybe getting crushed by a 1,000-pound weight suspended from a tree.
Brian,
Yeah, kid.
some people could outwit them, but I mean, you have to be really smart.
Do you think you could dress up like a sexy version of yourself? A sexy lady version of yourself?
I absolutely do. Are all marsupials carnivorous? What marsupials don't eat meat?
I don't think kangaroos eat meat.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Koala bears just eat eucalyptus leaves, famously.
Yeah.
Are they marsupials?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they really?
Yeah. Every animal in Australia is marsupial,
Even the spiders?
especially the spiders.
Okay.
So, according to Wikipedia, well-known marsupials include kangaroos, wallabies, koalas, opossums, wombats, Tasmanian devils, and the extinct Tasmanian tiger.
I feel bad about that one
That's
all the
too
time.
bad. Those were cool looking.
So cool
Some
looking.
lesser-known marsupials include Dunarts, Potoroos, and Couscous.
I had couscous for dinner.
That's get ready for a new strain of COVID.
Is that where it came from?
That's where the Delta variant came from.
For people eating couscous.
Yeah.
So I think kangaroos are probably omnivorous, and I think that's the distinction they're making. I think
Kangaroos are strict herbivores.
Are they really?
Yep.
Yeah, it is
Predominantly
rabbit.
grazers.
All right. Well,
I mean, theoretically, they're probably eating some bugs that are on that grass. But
yeah, that's not fair though. You guys probably eat bugs all the time. All those spiders crawling in your mouth while you're sleeping.
And Brian, wombats are not only herbivores and marsupials, but they also poo cubes.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
I know they don't.
I want to see a picture of.
Yeah,
All right.
I want to see a picture of that too. How does that happen?
We sure do live in a wonderful, fantastic world.
Wombat cubic scat found near Cradle Mountain in Tasmania.
All right.
Wow.
Kind of cubish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't look bad, to be honest with you.
No.
Banana bread.
Yeah. Half of a Swiss cake roll.
Well, I think that wraps up another week of the International News Service. Oh, wait, Mike, do you have anything coming up?
July 15th at the Hole in the Wall, I'll be performing songs that make the whole world sing with Ian McDougall. It's called the Mike and Ian's Variety Show. July 15th.
Nice.
At the Hole in the Wall.
Thanks for listening to the International News Service. Rate us, review us, subscribe, tell your friends about us, tell your mom about us.
Get on our Patreon.
Check out our merch store at Redbubble, where you can buy shower curtains, t-shirts,
Right.
onesies, a clock.
The shirts are limited, so if people want to get that, they need to get on pretty quick. 'cause
Yeah,
that's about to get
that'll
full.
yeah.
sell out.
COVID masks,
Yeah, which is coming back, as we've all heard, in a big way.
Mhm.
and we'll see you next week.
Peace, fuckers.
Thank you for listening to the International News Service. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. INS, the news you need.